Want to clap?
All right. We're going to clap. 3, 2, 1.
Okay. So to start, please tell us your name, the year you graduated, and the degree you earned from the University of Michigan.
Okay, I'm Donna Fry. I graduated in 1982 from the Ann Arbor campus, and back then the degree we had was a BS in Literature, Science, and Arts, and a certificate from the medical school in physical therapy.
Why did you choose the University of Michigan for physical therapy?
There were only 2 schools in the state at that time, Wayne State University and the University of Michigan, and Wayne State required an anthropology course I did not have, and U of M accepted me, so I went to U of M.
And what is your favorite memory from physical therapy school?
I had a couple memories. One is of the building that we were in, and our classroom was actually an old sorority house, and it was the living room, so there was a fireplace in the back, a sliding glass door to the side to go out to the backyard.
Wow.
And it was just a bit cozy, and so it felt familiar and good. And it was on Depot Street, and so we were close to the train depot, which has a really nice restaurant there. And on Thursdays, they had fried smelt with happy hour, and so we'd sometimes go there for dinner. And fried smelt became dinner. It was the one drink we could afford there.
Right. That's what it's like being in school.
Yep.
And then what kind of physical therapy were you interested in originally, and what are you working in now?
I was originally interested in neurologic physical therapy, and that remains my interest now. And so I just started and grew from there.
Oh, awesome. And is that what you're still working in now, or do you?
Well, I'm an administrator
Right,
now,
exactly. But your
so I
interest
don't
still
get
stays
that
there.
much in neuro. But.
Understandably. How did your time at U of M PT school help determine your area of specialization?
I loved the instruction, and we actually went down to another center in town that was a clinic that ran programming and therapy for children with various disabilities, and that's what kind of perked my interest. And then my internships.
That's a unique opportunity.
Yeah.
What was your favorite class?
It's been a long time.
Absolutely. You can give the subject.
I don't really remember, but I just remember Cindy Kincaid was one of our faculty members back then, and she taught the modalities class, and it was just fun.
Yeah, that is a fun class.
Yeah.
Who is your favorite professor, or the one who had the greatest impact on you and your education?
My favorite was probably Cindy Kincaid. The person who had the most impact on me was Dick Darnell, and he was a lifetime mentor for me.
That's great. And then, where has graduating from the University of Michigan physical therapy program taken you in life? So tell us about your career.
Okay. I started out and went a lot of places to practice for a very short time in my first 3 years in physical therapy, and I practiced in a nursing home because it was the only PT job in the town I went, which was Bloomington, Indiana, because my then husband was attending law school there. And then went to New York City to practice.
That must have been a huge difference.
It was huge, but we volunteered with the church to do mission work and got placed in New York City.
Wow.
And so I worked for United Cerebral Palsy of New York City there, and that was a fabulous learning experience. And while I was there, I realized that what I had been taught in PT school was wrong. Literally. Neurodevelopmental therapy had a different approach back then.
Right, okay.
And it wasn't correct. And I could see that when I practiced. And so I knew I wanted to go back to school, thinking I would go back and then practice, just learn more. So I felt more confident in my skills as a clinician. And so I headed back to the Midwest. Then we came back for my husband's job. And I worked in a school system and worked as a home care PT. and then decided to go back to grad school and ended up at the University of Michigan kinesiology for my master's and PhD, and still had connected with my mentor all along the way with career decisions, and he recruited me as a faculty member.
Okay, that's great.
So, yeah.
Sounds like you really explored like all facets of what the career has to offer.
Oh yeah.
And how has the school changed in terms of administration and how the program is organized?
Hugely. When I was a student, there were 36 students a year, and it was primarily female back then, and it was under the medical school. It was part of the medical school, and so we moved up to this campus because in the 1980s, all the medical schools across the U.S. were getting rid of allied health. And so we had to leave. And I was actually a student member of a committee that was trying to figure out where to go to.
Right.
And so we ended up being invited up to the Flint campus. And that was huge, incredibly huge. It was the best move the department made because it gave a lot more freedom in terms of curricular freedom and things that were really huge. So that was a big decision. I wasn't involved at that level. But then when we came to this campus, there were a lot of changes moving. I was involved in the move to a master's degree from a bachelor's, and then to the move to the doctoral degree. And so those, I felt really good about making those moves, and we were always first in the state to make those moves. But then when I became director of the PT department, one of the things that I'm real proud of that I think has had long-standing impact for the department is to put an emphasis on research. And so I restructured the budget so that we could have funding to provide the faculty with some research funding to get their research agenda going. And that's had a huge impact in terms of the professional program and giving students opportunities to engage in research, and led to ultimately to the development of the PhD. And while I wasn't responsible for the PhD development, laying the groundwork for that, the faculty to do research was essential to development of that program.
It sounds like you played a key role in so many of the historical events of this program.
Yeah, I've been around a long time.
And then our final question is, what do you feel has been your greatest contribution to the program?
I think there are many. I don't know which one to pick out. I think the contribution to the research
Absolutely.
Was a large focus. Just making it a structured program. I mean, we have a strong history of leadership in the program. We have honestly had great leaders all the way through, and that mentorship was that I received was very helpful, and hopefully the mentorship I'm giving, like to your new leader, Dr. Jennifer Blackwood, is hopefully helpful to her in continuing that tradition in the PT department.
Absolutely. Do you have anything else that you would like to add?
I think this is the best PT program around. And
I'm sure we all feel that way.
We have amazing faculty, and the students we attract are utterly amazing. I just can't say enough positive things about the program. The people in the program have worked hard, the faculty, the staff, and then we've gotten great students to help along the way. And it's just amazing to be associated with a program like that.
Absolutely. Thank you.